Thanks for staying with us. First up, Economist Dr. Priscilla Chimisi-Balfour is urging government to revise its stance on removing some taxes. It follows a warning from the World Bank on challenging times ahead for the economy. She is of the view the economy could suffer challenges if revenue collection is not improved. Speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Dr. Chimisi-Balfour noted that the betting tax could be an exception.
Issues that needs to be looked at. So, for example, if you ask me, the NDC government promised the removal of betting tax, for instance. I don't think that the betting tax contributes significantly. I mean, we can easily do away with it without creating any nuisance. But the reality is taxes are a way of generating revenue. It serves as an incentive or a disincentive, and it's also used to model behavior, really. And so, for example, high taxes on alcohol, tobacco, all those are trying to discourage people from doing it. So, for example, if you ask me, why can we not maintain the betting tax? We are not really encouraging young people to be betting, but rather earmark those funds, earmark those revenues that would come out of the betting tax to support young people, young businesses, give them venture capital. Those are innovative ideas that we can work with. And I believe that Ghanaians would wholeheartedly appreciate something like that, because we, truth be told, we do not fancy the fact that on a given working day, our young people are busy in betting shops and online betting. So you see, these are some of the issues that can be addressed. But the point I am emphasizing on is it is a very slippery slope. I believe that they are capable in navigating it, but the fiscal discipline is critical, while also using incentives to stimulate productive activity. As I indicated, I believe that agro-processing, the whole agricultural value chain is there. The report indicated, there are real issues with the cocoa sector, for example. These are things that can be done in the, interim, and yield some good results for the economy as a whole within the short to medium term. Really.
All right, we head to the Ashanti region, where engineers from the Electricity Company of Ghana have successfully installed a high-capacity transformer at the production side of the Awomaso bulk supply point to meet the current and future electricity demands in Greater Kumasi. The installation of the 145 megavolt amperes transformer to replace the existing 66 MVA transformer has been hailed as a right step to partly solve the current erratic power supply being experienced in the Ashanti region. Now, General Manager of the Ashanti SAP Transmission, Engineer Peter Fletcher, revealed electricity supply in Agona, Mampong, Bekwa, Kuntanase, Ejuso, Ifijiase, among others, will be impacted positively by the new installation. There's more in the following report.
The 66 MVA transformers at Awomaso bulk supply point until now were sometimes stretched to their maximum loading capacity due to an increase in demand at peak times. The new 145 megavolt amperes transformer, which replaces one of the 66 MVA transformers, is to help improve supply capacity and reliability in the region, with electricity needs of residents of Greater Kumasi expected to be taken care of. Engineers from both Gridco and Electricity Company of Ghana have been working to lay all cables, energize and install the transformer to make it readily available for use. Officials of the ECG hope the installation of the new transformer will also allow easier transfer of customers from Ridge bulk supply point in case of fault management. General Manager of Ashanti SAP Transmission, Engineer Peter Fletcher, tells Joy News the installation of the new transformer will, to a large extent, partly help solve erratic power supply experienced in the Ashanti region.
We are upgrading a particular transformer from 66 MVA to 145 MVA at the Gridco end. Okay, now basically what this means is that we are increasing the capacity, electricity capacity in Kumasi to meet the current demand and future demand. You realize even in Kumasi, the developed areas, some structures are even springing up, story buildings are coming up, and Kumasi as well is spreading. Looking at the existing capacity we have, it was really tight. So this work we are doing is to increase the capacity at this particular BSP to meet the demand currently and future demands. It is not to say that it will entirely eliminate pockets of outages. We are running a line where we have transformers, connecting points, poles, and all that, where third parties are breaking our lines, knocking our poles down, and all that. So this may still persist. But in terms of loading, where because of a fault, a cost cannot be supplied, we can comfortably transfer. Where because of demand, we cannot even supply. Now I have enough capacity here to supply. So for that one, we assure the people of Kumasi that for transfer of loads due to faults and all that, you can comfortably do it.
Meanwhile, Engineer Fletcher is courting public support in dealing with third-party interference on ECG installations, which he says goes a long way to affect the power supply chain.
Last year, February, we had about 8 of our pylons being toppled at Ajiajiso. And this one, we had people vandalize, removing only the bottom nuts. When these are calculated and everything switching forward. Last year also we had Bekwai, a car running in front of our pylons. So it means that immediately the supply to Bekwai was cut. At Olam, in front of Olam, also a car ran into our pylon. Kuwait Junction, we also have a car. Plus, road construction also going on, where they are knocking, punching our cables here and there. And recently, I think Eastern region also, we have people vandalizing the transformer and dropping the transformer on the ground and taking the despite, becoming so much rampant. But we cannot be at any place at any time. Some of the people, they damage the equipment and they run away. Now vehicles knocking and they run away. Contractors knocking, damaging equipment and they are running away. Meanwhile, before then, you had people seeing them doing the work. You go there, you ask anybody question, nobody is ready to respond. But just encourage is education that whatever is affecting or somebody is doing, affects not only ECG, affects all of us. If your transformer is stolen, fine, ECG will replace. It's about the cost. But the people directly affected, they'll be in darkness for some time. If they are operating some business and all that, they'll be affected. So it's education and the collaboration you have with the public and ECG.
The installation of the new high-capacity transformer follows an agreement between ECG and Gridco in May 2024. Ohime Interior's report read to you.
All right, the season is red with love, and gift giving is the order of the day. Hope you've received your gift today. Well, my colleague Helena Kai set out to compile a price list to help you budget for your beloved this Valentine season. Take a look.
The Joy Shopping List is a season of love, and I'm here at La Paz to gauge some price items you can get for that special someone this Valentine. Follow me and let's gauge the prices. Then I will shop him.
Me will be beer, me will chocolate, me will teddy bed. Ope pastor kwakwacha will soft for. If you want pana girlfriend, ope bibia kwakwacha. Me will be beer.
I have everything. I have chocolate and parcel for your beloved or pasta.
Enti make it a sing and a menya dane.
Okay. Say see ane there. 300 cedis. Ekosi 700. Inti ska ukure bia uba benyebi.
Ranging from 100 to 700 cedis, you can get something from my shop. 100 cedis can get you one chocolate and a purse. 200 cedis can get you a champagne and a teddy bear.
My purse na you use no. And a 200 so be champagne and a teddy bear. When the
Valentine Day is over and my stock is remaining, I will keep them for next year.
Was shop ni mono. Menya from price range bang, equity price range bang.
Oh, me 1,003, me 1,001, 1,800, 500.
In my shop, you can find prices ranging from 1,000 cedis and above down to 2 cedis.
2 cedis no adding.
That's why toffee Valentine toffee.
Okay, that's fine. Say me want say okay package be say. This is say no a for saying.
Oh, at least we know Ukita 6-7 medebemon.
It's 6-5 no. And I then I mean
oh, Benya Bekula kese. Ubenya high targets. Ubenya vacuum flask. Ubenya
I can sell this package for 600 or 700 cedis.
Ubenya face towel. Ubenya serving tray. Ubenya Valentine toffee. Ubenya tese. Bibi kra wo mu amekra mi refi. Oh, eko.
Sales are increasing and the women are buying more than the men this year.
Oh, teddy bear me wo 100 deco. We see a kitamino. Ubenya no be 900.
I have teddy bear for 100 cedis and above. The bear in my hand is 900 cedis with a bouquet.
300 ubenya package and just say wow on sense na nyepe. And dia wangasa who say ubetumi afford bia ubenya ewo menche. Last year say no me money to ade pa, but this year both of them are buying it. Money to ema me man no na me man so the same time almost to. Nkola crab on so eto.
Everyone is buying this year, both adults and children.
Enti hope say nyame bo ochina so no so ebe kama pa. Bibi say no me wo belt wo mu na mema wallet. Mark wo mu na face towel wo mu, socks wo mu, a belt so wo mu 200. Package we so 200. Me what teddy bear wo mu, chocolate wo mu, drink wo mu na different chocolate in so saka ho. And also 200. We obenya fan wo mu, spray ka ho na space na flour and so ka ho 150.
I came to buy teddy bears from this lady. She has a lot of teddy bears and other vow stuff, and I want to give it to my clients. I also sell some at home, and I saw that I've run out of teddy bears and stuff, so I'm coming to pick some and sell them. Yeah,
that means sales is booming.
It's actually booming. Like it's really like, let's say it's lucrative for a while. Let's see how it goes.
So there you have it. For as low as 30 Ghana cedis, straight up to 3,000 plus, you can actually have that special gift for that special someone. Don't forget, this is the season of love. Spread love to everyone. I am Helen Nakai Ai for Joy Business.
All right, a season to show love. We'll be talking a bit more about the business of love on the marketplace right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Ken will be in studio with me. Well, welcome back to the marketplace. Time for some show business. Well, Valentine's Day is more than just a celebration of love. It has grown into an economic driver in Ghana. Think about the chocolates going around. It's impacting businesses across sectors. Whilst the day is traditionally associated with romance, it also raises important cultural and financial conversations. How has Valentine's Day evolved in Ghana, and what does it mean for the economy? Well, on the marketplace today, we discuss the significance and economic impact of Val's Day with culture journalist Kenneth Aochida, who joins me in studio. So Val's Day, Ken, has become a big deal, and we are going to be talking about the economic impact of the day. But first, give us some cultural context. I mean, what Val's Day means.
I mean, essentially, like you already mentioned in your introduction, splendid introduction over there, it has always been about love and the sharing of it. I mean, in the traditional sense of things, we have always had our own ways of expressing love towards one another here in Africa, in Ghana. I mean, all the ethnic groups around the continents have had their own way of expressing, love to one another. And then there is the Western part, which has now seeped into our system, which has to do with the celebration in terms of Valentine's Day and choosing the day as the 14th of February to do that, express that very special emotion. And it has come with its own commercial, value, which has gradually been inculcated in the way Africans celebrate or share love to one another. And so that is how we got here. We have just, adopted the Western style of celebrating love, and
and it's become a thing. We saw Helen's report.
Exactly,
shopping center somewhere in town, everywhere was red. You know. And so that brings us to the economic aspect of it. I mean, what industries benefit from Val's Day celebration?
In terms of Valentine's Day, we know that the retail sector is a very big winner in that area. Mm-hmm. The hoteliers, space as well is one area that also benefits a lot.
There's event centers,
the people that are into event production, events, houses and all of that, they are all very heavily, inclined towards benefiting from this special day every 14th of February, every year. They have very different packages that allow people who have their own way of, celebrating this. They help them do that and in turn make some commercial returns from that. And so the hoteliers industry, all of those other areas are places that really benefit.
Yeah, and we can see, space. I'm always being shown as the percent planning to purchase top 5 gift categories. Like, what are people buying for others? I saw at the reception, somebody actually had candy, so I'm not surprised, 56%.
Exactly.
Chocolates going around.
From the report that we just played, you saw that one of the things that the lady was selling was chocolate. And this is data from the United States of America. It was talking about how much people are projecting to spend today.
Okay.
2025, 14th of February. People are expected to spend about $27 billion in the US alone in terms of Valentine's Day. So all of that expenditure goes to Valentine's, activities. And so you find people, and this is like the top 5 things that people will be, the average American will be spending their, dollar on.
And I don't think it differs much here in Ghana because, like I pointed out, a lot of chocolate is going around. And then we have flowers. At the reception, I saw flowers. So 40% maybe, then greeting cards. And an evening out, which is something people do.
That is where the hoteliers industry comes in because they organize
and the restaurants and
different types of foods for people to come in. If you cannot afford like a very big budget, they have very lucrative discounts that for people who would be willing to take advantage of this to share love with their family.
I don't know about jewelry though.
Jewelry is also something. I mean, in the US, it's the 5th most consumed thing that the average American would do in terms of Valentine's Day on this day. So it's quite something. I don't know the correlation between this and how Ghana is going to do in terms of the jewelry space, considering the fact that our gold exports are rising at the expense of cocoa production. Because last week or last 2 weeks we did an article on myjonline.com by the research team who talked about how much increment Ghana was seeing in terms of gold exports, gold revenue exports, as against the cocoa sector, which would fall under the candy where the chocolate is
the only thing
and how much it is affecting that.
The gold is going out, and so we are not benefiting much.
Exactly,
in terms of jewelry. Yeah. But I would say though, on social media, I saw somebody bought a Jeep for their girlfriend. Friend says he bought Sonata for his girlfriend. You wish. So next. I mean, we're facing an economic challenge. I don't know how that has impacted on people's spending habits and if they're willing to spend so much this Val's Day. Usually during festive seasons, you hear the traders say people are not buying much. How has that changed over time?
That has remained the same. We have still had people complain about the economy. First of all, we have inflation at about 23%, if I can remember, and we have we also have very poor figures when it comes to the employment rate in Ghana. So ideally, the people who usually are in the bracket of celebrating Val's Day are the youth. And the youth are complaining about these figures, looking at the inflation that we're having and the unemployment. You realize that there's very little money to go around, especially spending on a day such as this. And so people are taking advantage of that by cutting down how much they are spending on that. They are using alternatives such as someone may want to send a mobile money instead of an evening out. Instead of getting flowers, someone may convert that into maybe a little experience, maybe a certain, they could buy you a movie ticket to go see a movie. And that is the way of, sharing affection for another person. But they are finding very innovative ways to go around the economy that's not doing too well at the moment and still finding a way to...
I'm just wondering how we can make Val's Day a thing, like a major economic thing for the country, aside from what we are seeing here, people purchasing candy, flowers, greeting cards, and even out. What can be done?
Exactly. So there have been very different marketing schemes that have developed over time. We have seen influencer marketing take over the country's marketing space for about a year or two now. I feel like if the necessary training and the necessary resources are pushed into that area as well, it's going to help market the country's where that going. I mean, a lot of some of these things come from, other countries. We import some of these things to be able to celebrate these activities. And so if we find people that are in Ghana creating some of these things, and then we also find Ghanaians who are, propelling the product and pushing it to the continent. I mean, there are different ways to do that. And if you use those innovative ways, I think there's going to be some improvement in how we celebrate Val's Day here in Ghana in the African context. Yeah, we've got to go, Ken, but Ghanaians are asking, what are you doing this Val's Day for our mutual friend? No, your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, he doesn't want to say much. Ken Aochidaku, culture journalist, appreciate your time. Before we go, a look at today's top stories. Don't rush to scrap promised taxes if it risks revenue. Economist warns. We brought you that story. Also, government must balance politics and economic reality on taxes, says Economist Dr. Priscilla Barfo, Chumesi Barfo. Yeah, myjournline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We will be back next week. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you have some good time tonight, like Ken will.